So a few New York Giants news. One being they introduced their new Century Red throwback jerseys for their 100th season. Definitely an interesting look. It's very rugby-like with the stripes and really bold with the gold pants. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't know if anyone remembers, but when was it? About 14 years ago in the 2010 season or like the 2009 year, the Denver Broncos had an anniversary jersey, the 75th, and they were yellow and brown and white and brown for their away jerseys. I thought they were kind of so ugly that they were pretty, but that's just coming from a Broncos fan, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Denver Broncos yellow jerseys. They're pretty hilarious. And also, the refs wore like these orange stripes. I thought those were horrendous, but but back to these jerseys, they're not like ugly, but they're definitely not pretty. I'll tell you that much. I mean, if anyone likes these jerseys, let me know. I'm curious to see if anyone really does, and I just feel like these jerseys kind of symbolize the season for New York heading into 2024. Kind of weird, kind of strange, kind of in like a unknown territory, and overall not that pretty looking. When you lose Saquon Barkley to a division rival, it's kind of a rough start to start the official league year, and your replacement is Devin Singletary. Granted, he had an okay stretch last year with the Texans, and who knows, maybe he could replicate that with the New York Giants, but that's just tough to start the new league year, and when your quarterback room consists of Daniel Jones and Drew Lock, it's not really a room to inspire a lot of confidence. So far, I feel like every soundbite of Malik Neighbors is kind of, I don't know, he seems really hesitant. He seems kind of very iffy on playing in New York with Danny Dimes, so I know that could be the internet kind of exaggerating how he really is feeling and kind of looking too much into it, but at the same time, like, can you really blame him? Like, I don't know. New York Giants fans, how are you feeling about this year? Is anybody optimistic? Does anybody think they could really have kind of a surprise playoff run like they did a couple years ago with Danny Dimes? It's possible, but the thing is, with that year, Saquon Barkley was a integral piece to that successful season, and again, losing your best player probably on your team is just a really rough way to start the year, especially to the Eagles. So I know they obviously did add Brian Burns, and who knows, maybe he could be a huge piece on the defensive side going forward. Just trying to get a nice pass rush going and really trying to bring back those two Super Bowl winning teams with Justin Tuck, OC, Michael Strahan, etc. Maybe they're trying to replicate that, but I don't know. Man. I think it's probably going to be another ugly year. And as far as Brian Dable, like, I don't know, man. Like, he had one good year. Last year was embarrassing. And, like, I know he doesn't have a lot to work with right now. I'm not saying he would lose his job, but he's definitely on the hot seat right now. So let me know what you guys think about that too. Like, how do you guys feel about Brian Dable? Because I don't really know what to think about him. I want to believe he's a good offensive-minded head coach, but I don't know. Just last year was really bizarre, and I just have a I just have a feeling this year is not going to be too pretty. So I feel like him getting fired is a pretty likely outcome. And who knows, Bill Belichick is still unsigned, has no gig right now in the NFL coaching world. He's actually going to be appearing on the Manning cast every week, so that's kind of what he's doing. I'm kind of surprised by that. I really thought he would join either a college team or an NFL team, kind of in an advisory type role, but I guess he wants to compete with Tom Brady still in the TV game now, so fair play to him. But who knows, maybe he could be the head coach a year from now, especially if Dable goes. That's kind of where Bill Belichick started his whole run with LT winning that Super Bowl. So I know he would definitely have interest in coaching for the Giants. It would be a full circle moment. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think that could be interesting. I'm obviously a big Bill Belichick fan. I think he's the greatest coach in NFL history, but let me know if you guys would like that move. And the other news, which I'm kind of interested in, is they're actually doing off-season Hard Knocks. So instead of like the training camp of just covering July to August, and then the in-season where it's September to December, obviously, they're actually starting a new version where they're following teams from January until July, I believe. So you get to see all the off-season moves. You get to be in the war room of drafts. I always think that stuff is always really, really, really intriguing to watch. Just like all the little conversations and the phone calls and the big business decisions of who to draft, teams' big boards. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Giants operate behind the scenes. I think it could be a good watch too. I think it'll be pretty insightful. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what y'all think about that. Do you guys even watch Hard Knocks anymore? I know Hard Knocks used to be a lot bigger back in the day, probably like 10 years ago. It has fallen off a little bit, for sure. There's no question about that, but I still check it out. I thought the last season with the Jets was kind of boring. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of boring. The last good year of Hard Knocks was probably with Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions. That was the most interesting one in a long, long time. I haven't watched any of the in-season ones, but let me know if y'all like them at all. But yeah, man, looking forward to that new Hard Knocks version. I think it'll be pretty interesting to see the behind the scenes of everything, big business moves and whatnot. And yeah, how do you think the Giants are going to do this year? Let me know. Is anyone feeling optimistic? Do you guys like the jerseys? 100-year anniversary. Come on. Maybe it'll bring them some good luck. I don't know. But let me know what y'all think. That's all I got for right now. Peace.